What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is some Battlefield 3 with a shockingly long-term Battlefield gun. Yes, the Scar L. I'm pretty sure none of you guys expected me to say that, because really, who thinks of the Scar L in Battlefield? Now, of course, before someone gets their rage comment all posted up and everything, just hit that backspace button, because I'm about to explain this all, and you're going to stop raging, hopefully. Because there's a lot of people raging about this, but the Scar L, which is an assault class only gun, is of course the little brother to the Scar H, which fires the larger round, does more damage, much more recoil, which is an engineer gun. A lot of people have said, "Oh, this is completely wrong, how could they do this? This is terrible." When in reality, the justification is the Scar H in-game is supposed to represent a shorter barreled version, which of course they do make multiple barrel lengths for the Scar. Whereas the Scar L is supposed to represent a longer barrel length version with the smaller round. You know, personally, I find that justification completely honest. Makes perfectly good sense to me, because that's just how it is. It shouldn't matter what type of bullet it fires, and to be honest, the fact that the engineer does have the Scar H is very beneficial, because it offers the engineer class a weapon that's is more capable at range, which, you know, honestly I think is a good option for that class to have, given that the Scar H isn't exactly a laser beam of death that, you know, any Joe Schmo can handle and, you know, just absolutely destroy everybody with. It's not a, you know, really forgiving weapon to use, unlike most of the carbines in the class. So that's that. Honestly, stop raging about it. It's perfectly fine the way it is. That said, Scar L, of course. Like I mentioned, this gun has been in Battlefield for quite a while. The first time that this gun showed up in Battlefield as a series, of course, was Battlefield 2 Special Forces, which might just have been the first time any of the Scar family has shown up in any video game, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember any other game before it, and of course the Scar is a newer weapons family within the last decade or so, if even that. So, big props to Battlefield right there for getting in new and exciting weapons. But and of course it did show up in the Bad Company series, both in Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2. Although for those of you guys familiar with Bad Company 2 Scar L, it's nothing alike. You know, the Bad Company 2 Scar L did huge damage up close, at least huge damage in that game. I think ironically it's 25 damage in Bad Company 2, which is the same as it is in Battlefield 3, which, you know, of course, the weapon damages are completely different between games, except for that one instance. But, you know, in terms of what you're going to get in gameplay with this gun, though, it's a low recoil weapon. It's easily controllable. That said, I don't feel like this gun offers too terribly much of an advantage over something like the L85 or even in the M416. To be honest, I don't have really too terribly much issue controlling the 416, which does have a higher rate of fire at the same damage, but its rate of fire isn't too much higher, to the point where it starts adding a bunch of spread, you know, really quickly, which is a really crucial thing to remember, that your gun, your bullets are affected by spread, and where you're pointing is not necessarily where you're hitting, you know. Obviously the low rate of fire in that case is an advantage, you know, but the recoil is easily controlled, though. But, you know, again, maybe for you console players out there where you're going to have a harder time controlling the recoil just because of the limitations of the controller, you know, it'll be a bigger advantage for you. But on PC, I don't necessarily find it too big of an assistance. You know, I'd much rather have an L85. That said, I will be using this gun because I do like the Scar. It is a pretty nice looking gun, plus it is, you know, just different. You know, it's new, it's fresh, it's a gun that's not seen absolutely everywhere in every single video game quite yet. I'm sure it will be, you know, just as common as an M4 here in a couple of years, but that's a different story. You know, low rate of fire, low damage, low recoil. Overall, it's just a underwhelming weapon with a medium reload time that has rather bad iron sights. You know, it's honestly not that good of a gun. I can't really sugarcoat it, other than the fact that because it is low rate of fire and lower recoil, which makes it extra controllable. You know, if you hit your targets, you are going to hit your targets. You know, you don't have to worry too terribly much about spread or any of that, you know, stuff, as well as the fact that if you do hit headshots a lot, you know, obviously you're going to start dropping the bodies really quickly because it's more controllable, it's more point and click, which means that you're more likely to get the headshots if your aim is on target for the head, which, you know, if that can definitely become an advantage. But personally, I don't find it to be too terribly much of an advantage compared to several of the weapons that are already available here in Battlefield 3. So, I'm Falling Knight. Bye.